Do you know what tuberculosis is and how it affects us? Tuberculosis, often abbreviated as TB, is a potent and infectious disease caused by a type of bacteria known as Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Before we proceed further, let's take a moment to understand its impact through a real-life story. Meet George, a vibrant young man who was enjoying life to the fullest, until one day he started experiencing a severe cough and chest pain. His condition worsened with time, and he was diagnosed with tuberculosis. Determined to fight, he underwent a rigorous treatment regimen, but the disease had already taken a toll on his health, reducing his job opportunities and impacting his overall quality of life. Tuberculosis is indeed a global health problem, impacting millions every year, much like George. And while it's primarily known to affect the lungs, creating conditions like the one George suffered from, it's not limited to just that. It can spread and impact other parts of your body, including the abdomen. Tuberculosis is an infectious disease that primarily affects the lungs, but can also affect other parts of the body. Now, you might be wondering how to identify if someone is suffering from tuberculosis. Let me share with you a real-life example. John, a 35-year-old man, started having a persistent cough that lasted for more than 3 weeks. This was no ordinary cough, but a severe one, which brought up phlegm tinged with blood. He also began to experience chest pain, not the kind you feel after a big meal, but a constant throbbing pain that worsened when he breathed deeply or coughed. His appetite dwindled, and he noticed he wasn't as hungry as he usually was, which led to weight loss. This was often coupled with fatigue, an unbearable feeling of tiredness that wouldn't go away even with plenty of rest. Additionally, John experienced a fever, not a high one that would confine him to bed, but a persistent, low-grade fever that just didn't seem to leave him. He would also wake up in the middle of the night, his clothes and sheets soaked in sweat, and endure bouts of chills even when it wasn't particularly cold. As these symptoms persisted, John sought medical advice and was diagnosed with tuberculosis. The symptoms of tuberculosis can be quite varied and may appear slowly, sometimes over the course of several weeks. Just like they did for John, if you or anyone around you is experiencing these symptoms, it's crucial to seek medical advice immediately. John, a 35-year-old construction worker, is a living testament that tuberculosis is indeed a curable disease. He was diagnosed with this stubborn bacterial infection, but John knew he had to armed with the knowledge that the key to curing tuberculosis is a dedicated and strict regimen of antibiotics. He prepared himself for the battle ahead. These were not the typical 7-day courses one might be familiar with. This treatment called for a much more significant commitment, requiring at least 6 to 9 months of unwavering dedication. It might have seemed like a daunting duration, but having understood the nature of the bacteria, John was ready for the test of patience. And indeed, with consistent effort, he became victorious in this battle. The prescribed antibiotics served as his weapons against tuberculosis, and they worked because he used them correctly. He took these life-saving every single day without a single miss for the full duration of the treatment. His fight was not just about him getting better, about preventing the bacteria from getting stronger and potentially resistant to those drugs. He ensured to not stop the treatment too soon, nor did he skip any doses. And as a result, he overcame a form of the disease that could have become much harder to treat. Prevention is always better than cure, isn't it? When it comes to tuberculosis, a disease that affects the chest and abdomen, this statement rings particularly true. Me share a tale of John, a public transport bus driver who was diagnosed with tuberculosis. John, despite his situation, took on his responsibility of prevention. He understood the importance of wearing a mask, especially since he was diagnosed with tuberculosis. The mask was constant companion, helping him contain the bacteria and prevent it from spreading to the commuters. This was not just about his protection, but about safeguarding those traveling in his bus, especially those who are more vulnerable, such as the elderly, children, or those with weakened immune systems. Being mindful of others, he always maintained a safe distance from people, even when he wasn't driving. During his illness, he avoided close contact with his family and friends. His interactions were limited and carried out from a safe distance, a difficult thing to do, but he knew it would help prevent the spread of the bacteria. John's precautions were not just for his own protection, but for everyone he came across. His story stands as a testament to the fact that we can all play a part in preventing the spread of this disease. By taking such precautions, we can protect ourselves and others from the spread of tuberculosis. John's actions displayed that indeed prevention is better than cure. So, to recap what we've discussed today, tuberculosis is a bacterial infection primarily affecting the chest and abdomen. Remember the real-life stories we shared? Sam, who despite having a persistent cough and unexplained weight loss, waited too long to seek help and suffered severely as a result. And Maya, who recognized her symptoms early, sought prompt treatment and managed to fully recover while also protecting her family by maintaining good hygiene and avoiding close contact. The symptoms can be insidious, including persistent cough, weight loss, and fever. However, with antibiotics, it's treatable. The key is early detection, just like Maya, and sticking to your treatment plan. Precautions include good hygiene, a healthy diet, and avoiding close contact with those infected. In conclusion, tuberculosis is a serious but treatable disease. As Sam and Maya's stories show, recognizing the symptoms early, seeking appropriate treatment, and taking necessary precautions is crucial for effectively fighting this disease. Before we wrap up, note that this video is purely informational. We aim to provide current and precise facts, but this isn't medical guidance, meant for general information only, not as a professional medical consultation substitute. Always consult your healthcare provider for medical concerns. Don't ignore or postpone seeking professional advice due to content viewed here. Your health is the better informed you are, the wiser your health decisions. Stay healthy, stay informed.